No. Okay. So what is the timeline like? How long are applications taking? Is there kind of an average time?
Well, again, it really depends. What we've tried to do is, especially in the brokerage community, where you guys are paid by 1099, we created a opportunity for you guys to work with some specific lenders directly that are trying to streamline the process. Most lenders won't take 1099s as basis for PPP funding, but this one lender in particular will, and I basically get that information out on a case-by-case basis to whoever needs it. In most cases, using the 1099, you're allowed up to $100,000 per individual. So if your 1099 says 250,000, or if it says 50,000, you're taking that number in box 7 up to 100,000. You're dividing it by 12, which if it is 100,000 maximum, it's $8,333. Times 2.5 is $20,832. And that is your PPP funding that you're allowed to use for the 8 subsequent weeks after funding. Normally takes about 5 or 6 minutes to complete the application. It is taking the bank about 3 to 5 working days to get the approval. And once your approval is done, you'll get DocuSign documents and you'll get funded usually within 10 days to 2 weeks or sooner. They're trying to get it done faster, but it's volume right now that they're dealing with.
Okay, gotcha. Oh, that was a lot of information. I'm just trying to take notes for those who couldn't make it today, so I appreciate that. Let's see. If
you can ask questions if you missed something. I can tell you again.
Okay, perfect. So if our agents went ahead and applied for unemployment, is that a problem when they want to apply for this loan?
Well, again, unemployment is a completely different program than what we do at the SBA. What I've counseled individuals to do is if they received unemployment insurance or PUA, the Paycheck Protection Program is a loan. So normally you don't need to tell unemployment or PUA about receiving a loan. It does become forgiven after 8 weeks. So is there some wiggle room? I'm not going to counsel anyone either way. But what I have told most people is that if you're on unemployment insurance and you receive PUA, to let the individuals know that you report to, or in the information that you report, that you have received a PPP loan, and that you anticipate getting some compensation from the PPP loan, and then let them make a determination at that point whether or not it should affect your unemployment payment.
Okay, perfect. Let's see. Do the individuals that apply have to have an LLC?
No, you can apply as a sole proprietor. You can apply as an individual independent contractor. You can apply as a schedule C, under your 1040. But what this bank is asking for is, if you go this direction with this lender, you have to fill out the application. You normally fill it as an independent contractor if you're using your 1099. You basically include a copy of your 1099 or 1099s if you have a series of them, and a copy of your realtor's license or real estate license. If you have those 3 things and you submit them to the bank representative, they will basically process your application and get you approval with just that information. You have to provide a little bit more information later on the process, but that's with the bank. That's not anything that we do directly.
Gotcha. Okay. So maybe you may have kind of already answered this in a roundabout way, but do you have to have employees in order to apply for the loan?
Well, if you're a business, so say you're a real estate agency and you have 10 employees, you would apply as the business. You'd apply as the business. You have W-2 employees. You'd use your Form 940, your year-end 940 for 2019 as basis. You take your top line gross revenue or gross payroll that you've paid out. So say it's $1.2 million that you paid out to 10 employees. You would take that $1.2 million divided by 12 times 2.5, which would be $250,000, and you could apply as a business whether you're an LLC or corporate S or corporate C, or partnership. You could use your employees as basis under the Form 940 to ask for PPP funding to pay for those employees.
Okay, gotcha. Perfect. So we had heard of a loan officer that was working with you guys on this program, but we weren't exactly sure. So is there only one that you guys are going through right now?
Right now, the lender is using, her name is Amanda Prochaska. She's basically been the contact person that all the applications, especially from the real estate groups, are going to, and she's basically doing all the initial processing and making sure that you get your applications in there in a timely manner.
Okay, I think I do have her info, so that's great.
Yes, yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, he says something in here about success rates. I think he's trying to figure out like just a ratio on how many have applied, how many have actually gotten approved.
100%.
Oh,
If you provide the bank the information I just told you, that's 100% get approved. No, there's no credit checks. There's nothing that goes into the quote unquote process of application except for just providing the proper paperwork.
okay, perfect. And then will you just remind me again, what are the documents again? I think I've got.
You need the PPP application, which is the Form 2483. You can find it at sba.gov/paycheck protection. It's in the middle of the page. It says applicant PPP application. You need a copy of your 1099 or 1099s that equal or exceed 100,000 or less than 100,000 if you only have one. And you need a copy of your real estate license. Those three things will get you through the application process for approval.
Okay, perfect. Well, that was all my questions. I'll open it up to anyone else on the call that might have a question for Joseph.
Joseph, Calvin Gregoria with Kent office. You said it is a loan, but what is the interest rate?
Okay, so understand everything under the PPP program is supposed to be a forgivable debt. Yeah. And the good part about it is it's a non-taxable event forgivable debt by law. So if when you do get it initially, you sign loan documents for 2 years, because that's, if you screw it up and don't have a forgiven PPP funding, then you're basically going to be stuck with a 2-year loan at a 1% interest rate. So payable over 24 months. So it's not onerous, but the process is pretty simple. You know, the maximum you could get as a realtor is $20,832. What I tell people is just make 8 equal disbursements or 4 equal disbursements biweekly, and that's all you need to do to prove to the lender that that you basically use the money for your, to pay yourself, because you're an employee of one, so you only have to keep yourself employed for the 8 weeks, and you utilize the money, over the 8-week period, either in 4 disbursements or 8 disbursements. So it should be a no-brainer that it's forgiven. But again, with all no-brainers, there's sometimes mistakes. If it does end up being a loan, it'll be a 24-month loan, which Congress is now looking at possibly moving it into a 60-month loan at 1%. But I think that may be struck down. It'll still remain a 2-year loan.
Anyone else have any questions?
Thank you, Joe. I appreciate that.
Oh, you're welcome, Calvin.
Is that loan application, that 2483, is that the
Yes.
form? Is that a pretty easy form? Is it pretty self-explanatory? Do they have directions? They usually do.
Yeah, it's basically questions on top about the organization. What you want to put in there is the name that is identified on your 1099. So if it's you individually, you're the applicant, you're the 1099. If it's a business that you get paid as a 1099, you want to put the business up there. There's 3 boxes sort of in the top middle of the page. The first box asks what your monthly average is. I just explained it to you. If you're $100,000 a year maximum, it's $8,333 monthly average times 2.5. The middle box is $20,832. $20,832. And then the box to the right, it says how many employees. And I always get this question from realtors. Well, I'm not really an employee. In the case of this application, you're an employee of one, so you put one there. Then there's a bunch of certification and attestations in the balance of the 2-page document, which you either have to sign, initial, or just check off. And it's 2 pages.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
So getting the loan, processing it through this particular lender, that means the lender holds our account, essentially. That's where our account is, and we take disbursement from that lender.
No, not exactly. The bank that's been willing to do this is actually a credit union. So what they do is, in order for you to get the funding, you automatically get membership in their national credit union account, which is available to you to either keep or close. But where they'll fund you is when you do the closing documents and DocuSign, you'll designate what account you want the funds to go to, and it can go to your business or personal account or whatever you want. And this is one of the only lenders in the country that's doing realtors with 1099s and not asking for Schedule Cs and tax returns and everything else, because for them, it's servicing the real estate market the best.
Okay, perfect. All right, any more questions? Okay, doesn't look like anyone else has any more questions. Thank you so much, Joe, for all your time. It was a quick meeting, but you
Thanks,
answered
Joe.
all of our questions.
No. Hey, this is 98 and the quickest one I've ever done. So no, it's great. But if you guys have any questions, you all have my email address. You can give that out, and you have Amanda's email address with the bank. And that seems to be the best route so far for all the realtors that we've worked with. And we've probably done close to, well, not we, because it's not me, the SBA, but that bank has done close to 2,000 realtor PPPs. You know, they're really trying to be energized to help the real estate market. So, and we're glad that they're doing it. So
Yeah.
Hopefully it'll go well. But thank you so much for this time and opportunity.
Of
Yeah,
course.
thank you.
Okay. Take care. Bye, guys.
Yeah. Thanks, Narara.
You're welcome. Bye.